you think we're going to see the Timber ban?
Most likely there's a chance that they will ban that Timber, right? There's also a chance that they might ban out Batrider from Skylark.
True. I guess I'm focused on that Undying, because I don't think we've seen too many teams prioritize it, especially in the first phase, right?
I don't... Yeah, Undying is a really interesting ban that they're doing. I think it has to be because they screamed aggressive mode earlier and they've seen that hero
Also,
play against them.
I see some position 5s playing it in pubs, and maybe Spartan is one of them. So, because you have insight
Spartan
on that
is
as well.
definitely an Undying type of a player.
Yeah,
Your
he is.
Tusk and Undyings and Augurs and Spirit Breakers, I can definitely see him spamming Undying in pubs, yeah.
I like how you went towards the bulky. I was like, is he going for the ironically, even though it's called Undying, the type of guys that die a lot, or is he going for just the bulk boys?
Just the bulk boys. But
bulk
bulk
boys.
boys are usually the ones that also die a lot in the games.
The Timber was banned, and we do get QP Pango again.
I just love this idea that, like, they're discussing, what went wrong last game? Cube's like, not my Pango. You better pick it. Pick that damn thing.
I mean, to be honest, QP on Pango is an insanely good player. On the other heroes, he's just gonna be a solid one, right? He's not gonna be anything too good, right? So if you wanna put him on something that he's gonna have more impact than someone else playing it, or even him playing some other heroes, I feel like you should give him that hero. And since he's probably going to play it anyways, just give him the first pick. It's a good hero anyways. So.
No, I mean, it's a good first pick. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be Q playing it. Most likely will be, but it's a flex pick as well. Can be played on your position 4 or off lane. So
if you're a captain,
even mid.
If you're a captain, it's gonna be easier for you to just look at it and say, this is their position 4. It's easier for you to draft that way.
It's that stand-in factor as well, right? Like, oh, he's not usually in our team, so if we let him have his comfort pick, then we can flex around it because we know we work together. I also love the fact that you keep calling him QP. People like Cube, QP. I can't remember what QPP or something, I think is what
I met him in the in Greece, probably WCG. You guys were actually casting that.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yes, and when I called him QP there, he didn't really say anything about it.
Okay.
So I'm gonna stay with it.
Roll with it.
I don't know if it's something he prefers, but we can ask.
I kind of like QP just because
he's gonna have to deal with it.
We brand him, he doesn't brand himself. I just love the idea of QP because, like, chat, you can use this whenever he dies and he seems like he's molding. Just say QP needs a toupee, okay? And that will work from there.
That's amazing. By the way, is Crystal Maiden an amazing hero?
That's true. Because, like, Crystal Maiden, man, this hero, what is the build right now? Because I feel like there's a kind of tear between some players and whether you max out the aura early.
You don't, man. You take it twice.
Yeah.
You
and
take
then
it
you
twice
leave
and
it there.
And that's it. Yeah.
There's another old guy that gives you some mana. Also very interesting. Oh.
Whoa, this is going... Okay, we stopped for one moment to discuss QP, and all of a sudden we have a draft. And the bristleback you mentioned just came out. Okay, you're going to have to, like, speed run through this, like 10 seconds on each hero.
Yeah, the problem is you have first given them a Kotl with a Mars, and now you're also giving them a Kotl with a Bristleback. Bristleback is very strong at the moment, more so with the Kotl. This is an old school lane, you constantly just give him mana, he can double Quill Spray you as well. It's just an obnoxious lane to play against. Beastmaster isn't really that strong versus that lane. Overall, the Bloodseeker pick looks to me to be more of a snatch pick. They're trying to take it away so that Viking don't take it versus the Pango, maybe?
Oh, I see, because actually, no, I know what it is. If you look with the Bloodseeker, they're creating a game of circles. Right, because you got the Blood, right? You got the Arena. Which, in fairness, it sounds like a meme, but it's actually a lot of control and damage and
yeah, but they're on different.
area.
I really wouldn't like to lane the Beastmaster against the Bristleback, to be honest. Like, I've seen Beastmaster work mid. Even if he loses mid, he goes woods and he recovers really fast, gets out, he can kill anyone. So I would actually like to see a different hero. Okay, it's gonna be a Queen mid.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, against the team that we kept discussing, expecting to see the Queen of Pain come out.
There's a lot of aggression coming from aggressive mode. You asked for it. This is a completely aggressive kind of a lineup. You have a lot of pushing power coming from the Beastmaster. You have that control that's necessary coming from him and the Pangolier. Then you also have the Bloodseeker and Queen of Pain that just need a couple of items, like the starting ones, and they're ready to fight. So overall, their lineup is very, very early game oriented.
And the Dragon Knight coming out.
again.
Why not? I mean, Quap is picked, you get that Dragon Knight instantly, you won't lose the lane. It's even easy for you, you just get a lot of Dragon's Blood and...
I just lane this Beastmaster against the Dragon Knight, to be honest, and lane Queen of Pain against the Bristle.
This explains the Undying ban again as well, right? Like they're obsessed with these bulky boys.
Undying and the Timber, because these two heroes, again, we have kind of a same lineup. It's not the Lycan, right? But then again, Bristle with the Kotl is actually really strong. And again, we see ease of execution on the side of Viking GG and aggressive mode that needs to jump around, get out, get in with all of these heroes. If they don't burst the hero with the roar, it's gonna be extremely hard for them to take the fight. So
you have aggressive mode that have to be aggressive, but their lanes are set up for failure, at least 2 out of 3 lanes. The Dragon Knight on the mid lane, if it's versus Quap or Beastmaster, he should be fine.
He should be fine.
The Bristleback as well, perhaps there's a way that you pressure him. I don't see it. Maybe a tri-lane of some sort, but it's going to be extremely difficult to do so. And then you have this team that's supposed to be aggressive early on, but...
And Rubik Mars, let's not forget that. That's probably one of the strongest off lanes, right? So against the Bloodseeker and the Crystal Maiden, if they catch any of them, they could be in real trouble. So
I don't see later on in the game how can you deal with the Bristleback. Like super late game, he's very strong as a win condition and as a carry. Perhaps if you itemize Bristleback in some sort of a way, getting those Necros to get his mana away is also great, but then he's playing with the Kotl. It looks like I don't know, I would just swing even heavier in Vikings' favor this game.
Yeah, too many ifs for aggressive mode. I feel like they can win if they play it perfectly. Laning stage and later stages of the game, they go for Silver Edge on the Bloodseeker, something along those lines. But it's gonna be extremely hard to play this game.
So you say there's not really many chinks in the armor of not just Dragon Knight, but Vikings lineup, right? There's not much you can tap.
There's definitely options. If you're aggressive mode and if you somehow manage to have a decent laning stage, you can roll out of control with the Beastmaster, right, with the fast Necros and Dominator, but it will be difficult.
Okay, well, aggressive mode on the defensive, probably in the lanes, but they can't afford to be, and definitely in this series, they're already 1 game down against the side of Viking.GG. They take you through the action and see if they can actually claw their way back into this one. It is Suns fan Cinderin. Take it away, lads.
Thank you, friends. Cinderin? Hello?
Yes, hello.
Cinderin?
Hello.
Greetings.
Hey.
We have a Bloodseeker.
We do.
On the same team as its arch nemesis, Pangolier. What's the deal? That doesn't fit lore at all.
Maybe they're protecting their Pango, so they picked the Bloodseeker so the enemy team couldn't pick it. And then they picked the Queen of Pain, so Viking GG couldn't pick that for their Queen of Pain player. And then they picked Crystal Maiden so that it couldn't have been picked after 90 heroes were banned and it was the only one left on the island. Who knows?
Oh, she's also pretty hot, so they need some attractiveness on their team to go along with Quap.
Yeah, and Bloodseeker.
Because then you have 3 hideous beings on the other.
I'm not too big a fan of Crystal Maiden position 5 right now, or as a hero in general. It's not to say that it can't work, it can, but there's a lot of... With all of the emphasis that there is on this very early stage of the game with laning and early fights, Maiden isn't... A lot of the time isn't particularly strong. You have this Crystal Nova, and then outside of that, your stats are just bad. You have bad move speed, bad armor, bad damage, bad attack animation. You're literally this spell early on. So I foresee some troubles top. I think this Mars Rubik lane is much stronger than Maiden Bloodseeker. However, the way you can swing this always with Bloodseeker is if you pressure other lanes and you get a lot of damage done, Bloodseeker can win, in theory, almost any lane with Thirst. So they do manage to harass, say, bottom with Pango Beastmaster. Not the most likely outcome, but it's possible there.
Well, they did get 3 out of the first 4 bounties, so that is a good start for them. Last game, they didn't have the same luxury, so we'll see if they can use that to their advantage in any way. How do you say this Pango's name? Is it Coop? Coop?
I've always said Cube, because it's easy.
Cube?
Yeah,
okay,
like a cube, but with a P.
Cube?
I think his avatar at one point was also a cube. I'm pretty sure that was his avatar for quite a while.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's just cube.
Okay.
I don't know.
Cube. I forgot what I was going to say about him because we went on a long tangent about his name. So we'll just switch to mid lane. DK versus a Queen of Pain. Queen of Pain, of course, very one of those tried and true heroes that is probably the most annoying hero to play against as a melee hero. But of course, you do have DK who can regen a lot. So what are your expectations here?
This is a generally DK favored lane. You max out Dragon Blood early, at least level 2, maybe level 3 of it, and Queen of Pain's harass becomes insignificant. You just have way too much health regen, and then you win the CS war by having a hero that has Quelling Blade, so you don't really get denied against by the Queen, and you take away damage with Breathe Fire. So I'm expecting Boom to win this lane. Sunlight's off to a good start, though. At least. It's pretty even
8 and 2 versus 7 and 1, so generally fairly even. Ooh, big deny, though, on that range creep. Now, I love doing 1v1 casting Cinder. We should do that sometime. Top lane, though, kinetic or telekinesis, I should say, is going to be enough, as Spartan will be first blooded. Unfortunate for him. He is the slowest hero in the game, aside from, I believe, Tree now. Is that correct?
That
Tree
sounds
not
right.
next
I
to
think
Tree.
Tree might be faster, actually.
Really?
I'm not sure.
I think
what
Tree,
his
when
base
he's not
is.
next to a tree, is the slowest by quite a bit, actually.
I'm gonna
Could
check
be
that
wrong.
right now for you.
All right, as Cinder and Googles.
You are wrong.
By the way, what's his
Tree
move
has
speed?
280.
Really?
Yeah.
What's CM? 275?
275. Yeah. I think CM is the slowest
That's
hero. Maybe
very
Medusa?
surprising.
Medusa got buffed too, though, I think. in move speed.
Oh, Medusa, there's no way.
275.
I'd be shocked.
As well. She's 275. too.
Okay. Well, Aramis
so-
and Spartan are trading a lot of hits, Cinderin.
Yeah, so since we're talking about Maiden anyway, to me, the biggest, like, if you compare Maiden to other fives right now, what does she bring that others don't? It's the aura, right? You have to talk aura when you talk Maiden. It's the aura, and it's the generally the aura and the ults that she has that other heroes can't really compete with. The ult is amazing against specific heroes. Are there good aura users this game? It's good for Queen, but unfortunately Queen's harass doesn't win the lane, so it doesn't, like, you can try your hardest to harass this Dragon Knight all you want. When he hits level 5, it becomes almost impossible to really get through that armor. Bottom lane, extra mana on Beastmaster is nice. I don't think it's amazing, especially when you're playing against a lane that has infinite mana. Like, when you think about it, Caudle is just much better.
It
most
would
of
be
the time.
amazing for a position 3 or 2 Pango. Position
True.
4, maybe not
Not so
as much, but
Yeah.
you know, something to think about. Well, I mean, looking at CM from other perspectives, I mean, she does have a couple of spells that will help this Bloodseeker kind of go ham in lane. We just saw a combination of Frostbite into the Blood Right. Very nice.
Yeah, she obviously has her own stuff, but, you know, look
She
at
has
her
other
mana pool right
spells,
now.
Sandra.
She uses both spells, she's out of mana. That's literally all she has. She has 300
That's why
mana.
she has a mango. She loves eating mangoes. Uh-oh.
She loves getting killed.
Oh boy. Yeah, well, Spear will connect, and this will likely be another kill on Spartan, who just stands still, and they're just playing with each other now. God, if he actually wasted money now.
You've gotta
That
be
would have been
joking.
epic. That would have been epic if that worked.
Oh, Toby.
Well, what is
Uh-oh.
this?
All right.
Okay, baiting him with that wand.
God, that's so stupid. Oh, no, it's really funny.
I mean, it would have been one of the best moments ever if he had lived.
Yeah,
after all
I mean,
that.
the situation was stupid. Trying it wasn't, like, I'm not flaming the player. I'm laughing at the, like, stupidity of the moment. It was so random.
Yeah, of course.
All right, he's dead. Toby's
Ooh.
gonna die here. I
No,
think.
he's quite low,
Yeah,
and
Mio's got
Bloodseeker
him.
does have 2 levels of thirst. Wand will connect. Rebuke.
He's still...
And
okay,
He's
he
gonna
might
try
actually
to deny
live here.
himself. Oh, and no.
There was
Neo
a
ends up
possible
getting the
play with trying to spear him away there, and then getting out of the ring, and then suiciding. I think that was possible. Either way, like, yeah,
Well,
sure you die, but man, that took them a lot of time to run that down.
Yeah,
Right, Main
very
just used
true.
all of her mana again. She's a bot now for a while.
I mean, looking
there
at
any
the
regen
CS. See, this courier has boots, so it doesn't look like regen to me. But Shad in the bot lane is doing very nicely, Cinderin. 35 and 9 in the CS department. If you
This is
compare that to the Bloodseeker, that's a 10 CS discrepancy.
This is a super
course, he
Bristle
did get
Coddle
this
favored
kill.
lane. I don't think you can lose this lane. There's just like, if I'm playing this
mean-
dire lane, I don't know what they can do to win. I think they stay alive, they start cutting waves with Beastmaster Pango, and then Pango rotates off. I think maybe he should have actually helped out top earlier on Pango and just let Beastmaster, you know, pull waves, fend for himself. Because that's one thing Coddle Bristle doesn't do very well. They don't combat wave clearing or wave cutting that well. It's just the Coddle, right? Bristle is forced to stay in the lane, and Coddle is not one of those lane dominators. He's an enabler.
Ooh.
However, if you dive this far,
Yeah, Skylark is dead.
you can die to a
as
rotation.
Aramis takes the last hit there. But I mean, I feel like the combination of Bristle Coddle, I don't even know what beats that in general, regardless of just the heroes that are in this game. Like, that's a crazy, crazy lane
It's a very
combo.
strong lane. It's a
Well,
classic.
DK is top in CS Synderen as kind of expected. I guess a lot more denies coming the Queen of Pain's way, so she's doing fine herself, all things considered. Did go 4 in Shadow Strike, by the way, so definitely wants to keep him honest, if you will. He also went 4, and he maxed out Dragon's Blood completely as well.
It's pretty meta right now for many Queens of Pain to go 4 in Shadow Strike. I just think this is the least impactful lane you can do it in almost. So I don't know if I like it here. It's
Toby
really
gets
good if you're
ruptured?
winning your lane.
And is dead. Who are they going to get the last hit to?
Behind in this lane.
Oh, I knew it. Cube, whatever the hell you want to call him.
Cube.
He's going to turn to the position 3 Pango, and then later on position 2. You'll see.
Gotcha.
But he is getting tranquils, so not looking like that's going to happen, actually. Unfortunate. Well, DK still doing quite fine. Pops that DK form, of course. Arcane Rune now on the Queen of Pain, actually. So how do you build Queen of Pain these days? Is there any standard build that everyone's sticking to?
Mostly Blade Mail. That's the first major item. But in this game, he's going to go Vestal. They need that against Dragon Knight Bristleback. Somebody in their team has to buy it, and Quap is the only realistic candidate in the game. Pango will get it too late, Beastmaster doesn't want to buy it, and Bloodseeker has to deal damage. So, yeah, Quap's got to do the dirty and buy that. It doesn't feel good, I think, for Queen to buy Vessel. It's not terrible, but ideally you want to have Blade Mail Orchid or, you know, these kind of more aggressive items.
Well, probably the main hero that will benefit from that Arcane Aura from the old CM. It's only level 1 right now. Has 2 in Frostbite, the Spartan.
Yeah, to set up the blood right. I mean, Maiden Aura is always useful, right? The thing I'm looking for is there some sort of like really powerful use that truly validates the pick? Like,
Yeah,
are
it's
you
like
winning
abusing
lanes
it
because of it? Because yeah, it's great to have extra mana on Bloodseeker and mana on Quap and mana on Beastmaster. It's never bad, right, to have mana, but are you winning anywhere because of this aura? Is it making a big difference? And I'm just not seeing it right now. And that to me feels like, okay, this Crystal Maiden could have technically been any hero that was stronger in lane. And I don't think Freezing Field will be useful this game. It's extremely hard to use against the Radiant lineup. Rubik can steal it, Mars Spear interrupts it, Dragon Knight Stun interrupts it, Coddle ulti makes it impossible to use. There's just so many problems. So, you know, a lot of teams have been trying Grimstroke lately with success. That would have been one alternative you could have considered, for example.
Double Rupture. Hell yeah.
For example. But
Sounds good to
there
me.
has to be some reason that they like this Maiden as a first phase pick. I'm not a fan. Shit.
Well, again, 3 out of 4 bounties.
Gold-wise, this is a pretty even game. Bristleback, the big winner, of course, but Bloodseeker having a good time too. Mid is a wash. And now that Toby has died twice top, the Beastmaster's actually got a pretty significant lead on him. And with this Helm of the Dominator, he's now farming Ancients. This is a really efficient way of playing the map, is whenever you have a hero that can farm Ancients, they should try to do it. Because it's so much gold that nobody else is claiming. So like the relative gain for spending time on this is super good. Right. He's also even taking it away from the Radiant by playing there. So.
Rupture top, by the way.
Yeah.
Onto RMS. Gets the telekinesis off. It looks like Mars is going to come to help as well. But no more
Skill
aggression.
ulti on Toby. 3-3-0 build. Interesting. Feels like a
That
misclick.
is interesting.
I don't know.
Well, Skylark actually gets a kill
The Coddle.
onto the Keeper of Light. As we're going to see a gank here in mid, potentially, although the Roar was expended, so this will be a tough one. But like you said, does have the creep to use, so nice stun from the Centaur. As DK is getting quite low, Cube The Sonic Wave does connect, and they will be able to take out that Dragon Knight. Looks like Rubik is next on the list, as Bristleback probably a little bit too tanky at this stage for them to take with 0 ultimates in tow. Okay, we'll get a Shadow Strike applied though, and that is, God, what an annoying spell, honestly. Like, why is the cooldown 4 seconds? Jesus.
On which spell?
As you can tell, I'm a big melee hero player. The Shadow Strike.
Good question.
It's so ridiculous.
It's a really good spell now, yeah. It wasn't always this cooldown, I think. I don't remember when it got changed to scaling like this, but it's a long time ago.
Yep.
Queen of Pain just hasn't really been favored for quite a long time, and even when she was, she would usually get 2 points in Shadow Strike to win your lane, but then you would max Scream of Pain early, so that when you make rotations, you have more burst potential. But now it's a bit more popular to do this build with the max Shadow Strike. It got buffed in slow. The level 4 slow is so strong. 65% initial slow is no joke.
Looks like the Bloodseeker is working on a Maelstrom, as Skylark will take the tier 1 tower bot. All for his lonesome. Cube and Spartan are smoked, but they're nowhere near anybody from the enemy team, so unlikely to find anything other than potential ward placement here. He does have 2 observers. Tier 1 tower will be the focus, though, for Viking, as Dragon Form is popped.
This is one of the massive benefits of having Bristleback in your team is while you're making your aggressive tower move, you can defend the lane. Look how confident Shad is here. He has a Vanguard, Wand, and a Bracer, as well as Treads Ogre Axe. 2k health, 13 armor next to the tower, and this block. So he's effectively trying to defend this tower on his own. Now he's going to need help, but it takes so long for them to kill him that the help can arrive.
Yeah, I mean, the Rupture, he's just going to stand in it. He's tanky enough as it is. As the Coddle ult comes out as well. But DK, it's stuck in a horrible position and will drop to the Sonic Wave along with the Coddle. So a little bit of miscalculation there. As a nice Centaur stun again onto the Rubik. They're going to find their 3rd kill and a tier 1 tower. So aggressive mode playing much better than last game.
Yeah.
Much more effective in their execution.
That was so much magic damage. Dragon Knight was not expecting to die so quickly. I think a bit of a mistake from Viking that they don't bring Mars. I think he's the hero that needs to be here. If there's a team fight breaking out in your tower, you're bringing that Mars. You need the arena. I don't know if he had TP cooldown, but they assigned him to at least stay top to push this tower. Anybody could have done that, and he could have had a big, made a big difference there. But Skylark coming in with a nice flank play and just overall just overwhelming this tower was very nicely done from aggressive mode. And
Skylark, I mean, this is quite the... Yeah, that was a surprising thing of all of that. After you listed off all the reasons why it's not good, which you're right, it just happens.
When you do get it off, it's an awesome spell. The problem Megan usually has is it's really hard to use, but in this kind of situation, it's really strong, right? Most heroes in Dota have something crazy, right? Or every hero in Dota has something crazy. The reason heroes are a lot of the time not in favor is if the crazy thing they have is extremely situational or very difficult to use, then, you know, if you just want to look at it in a very banal way, the number of opportunities you get to use it during a game is just lower than other heroes. So, you know, Maiden ulti
it's like
to me
looking
is
at
one
the
of those
numbers
spells.
CM ulti, you look at it, all right, this does about 10 million damage, but you have to channel it for X amount of time as well. That is the trade-off, my friends.
Smoke on smoke. Oh, that's a really aggressive blink.
Yeah, Quap blinks right in the middle of 3 heroes, but looks like she's going to get away with it. Only has level 1 of the blink, though, as Cube is going to get his Rolling Thunder going. There's the Coddle ult on top, Sonic Wave onto 2 heroes. Artemis is going to get extremely... They could deny him if they really want. Nice stun onto the wall. Skylark will be taken out. He's very, very high in net worth, so that's worth quite a bit of money. It's a 2 for 2. Definitely in favor of Viking, though, in that fight.
Yep. 3/2 gold for Toby for killing Skylark. It's a good bounty.
I mean, looking at Skylark, he's had such a huge impact versus last game. There's night and day.
Yeah.
Went the Helm into Shadowblade, and then actually got boots after all that, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, he's going Silver Edge against Mars, Bristle, and Dragon Knight. Both Vessel and Silver Edge are S-tier items this game. Viking will be looking for BKBs to solve those problems, but until they have them, there's a lot of potential for strong plays coming out of the Dire. Boom will be finishing Dagger in a moment. I wonder if...
Is that the best side in this game?
I think it's fine. Oh, yes.
If you get Shadow Struck, you're screwed. Oh, Frostbite not there. He actually gets ruptured.
Maiden with those 346 move speed with Tranquil Boots. You gotta love it.
If only she was as fast as Treant Protector, she would have made it.
That would have been enough. Now, what I was going to say is I wonder how they're going to use this blink. If the play call now is, okay, when Dragon Form is up, we're going to make a smoke rotation, collapse on mid, and get that tower. Celery.
Skylark randomly finds Celery in the bot lane. Wow, that was pretty sick. Nicely done. How do you play Pango that much and then end up playing position 4? That's what I want to know. There's no way he plays position 4 in pubs. It bothers me so much.
He does. He plays position 4 Pango in pubs.
You're in pubs?
A lot, yes.
How is that fun? Oh my god. You're just completely reliant. Ugh, alright, whatever.
How is Valorant fun?
This is a whole... Why do you keep bringing that up as ammunition?
I don't know. It's my favorite joke right now.
It's your favorite joke because you never got access to it, and you're very upset.
No, I actually am not very upset about it. Nobody's going to believe it when I say it like that, but that's actually being honest.
I'm not upset at all.
No, I'm not angry.
Well, Skylark in the bot lane, pretty much left to his own device. It feels like he's playing like in this game. It's just kind of unstoppable in his push. Took the tier 1 tower by himself, has pretty much free farmed the entire game. Very high net worth. And we'll be getting this tier 2. Will it be uncontested though? Very low already. They're gonna pop the fort, and that's gonna
awesome
force them
deep
back.
wards here. They see all the rotation coming in. Bristle will
Halberd
defend.
now on Bristleback, by the way. So
good on against
that is
Bloodseeker.
Classic item.
Toby's dead.
Yeah, he's not looking too good. Goes into Spartan stance mode, but will die. He's actually... Enemies are a little bit lucky they wasn't like denied or something. Definitely potential for that. As Coddle ends up dying to Skylark. So a nice solo kill for him. Oh, we're going to see the top lane here. The stun up the Bloodseeker. He gets the Rupture on the Dragon Knight. Here comes Pango as well. Going to bounce left, right, and center. Wow, that's actually the perfect position to perma-lock the Dragon Knight down. And he can't even get back into the battle since he is Ruptured. Spartan getting off a pretty long duration ult, but will fall shortly after. So across the board, it's a 3-for-1, but some of those kills were across the map. Looks like Boom will get out just in time. And we didn't even mention Vampire Fangs on Bristleback. Pretty freaking good. Is this, other than maybe Huskar,
it's
top 3 hero probably?
Yeah, it's super good. Really, really good hero to get it on.
But if you get level 25, you don't go for spell lifesteal anymore, right?
Most of the
Pretty sure
time,
the Warpath.
no. Most people get the Warpath damage. It's, if you have max stacks running, that's 270 damage as a talent.
Yeah,
Think about it.
absurd.
That's pretty nutty. It's fucking crazy.
Oh, we're gonna have
Absolutely
smoke
crazy.
here.
Yeah. Viking probably feeling under a little bit of pressure here to get something done. They really want to flush out this Beastmaster and get the kill on him because he's just taking too big of a chunk of the map. But aggressive mode, very aware it's happening. They're going to back off, avoid the smoke. At least they're going to get access to the outpost, so they will trade those. This is not what you're hoping from your smoke overall, though.
After the Silver Edge on Beastmaster, do you think he's going to go for something like the Necro? Or are we going to see something else?
I think it's too late.
Really? There's such a thing as too late for Necros?
Yeah. I think...
That should help.
Uh-oh. Toby?
Yeah, he gets roared into a Bloodright. Rupture is still available, but there comes the Coddle ult as a counter initiation. But Quoop comes in with his counter initiation to the counter initiation, Cinderin. Rupture was used onto Boom, I should say. He blinks out, will take a shit ton of damage as a result, but you are correct in your analysis that no one died in that fight.
Pretty big spells used for Radiant, though. They used Dragon Knight ulti, they used Coddle ulti. And yeah, there's a couple of ultis used on the Dire as well, but they're less impactful. They're less important and they have shorter cooldowns, so they will be ready again to go make their own play. I think, okay, they're smoking already. I think this is maybe a little bit too early to make this move. I don't even know if they're trying to fight here. They know where the Radiant team were. Maybe they think they're crossing the entire map again, but they've kind of just camped down here now. So they're gonna get vision out at least from this. Spartan with 2 wards, placing one behind the tower probably. Maybe just a regular overlooking ward here. Yep. Holding on to the second one, I think that's a fine idea.
So what is the item of choice for Beast then?
I think
Now they have Silver Edge.
Assault Cuirass could be pretty good. BKB might sound strange, but could be an item. I don't think he gets BKB next, but he might get it as a 3rd item. Looks like he's just queuing up a lower value item in Vlad's. That's also great. Didn't consider that they don't have that yet, so good item as well.
Yeah. So is Coop not the type of Pango to get Vlad's? Because I feel like every other Pango these days is getting it.
I don't know. I would have liked to see it on the Pango, to be honest, and the Beastmaster get something bigger. I don't know if this Yules on Pango is super important. I get the combo where you get the second proc of Rolling Thunder on somebody, but
I feel like that's so overrated.
It is overrated. Kind of overrated. I would agree with that. I don't think it's that good.
You know what else is slightly overrated? I'm not going to say it's as overrated as the Yules, but the net item for Pango I think is a bit overrated as well.
Oh, the net item is awesome.
I know I knew you were going to say that. Most people love it.
It's really good.
All I can say is Luki sometimes agrees with me, depending on the day. So BKB will be the choice for Shad on the Bristleback. He is still a ways away. They're going to be going for Skylark. This would be a huge kill. And yeah, this is definitely one, unless they just fuck up beyond belief. But Skylark is dead. Rubik will die on the other side of the map, though. The direct other side of the map, in fact. Trying to push out these lanes, I suppose. Now, what are your thoughts on using...
Got caught by Pango.
Like, you used a DK ult for that. Not even sure it was necessary considering you had 4 heroes. Maybe you wasn't sure if the enemy team was in the vicinity, maybe?
Yeah,
do you think
then
this
you
is
could
a
pop
waste
DK
at all?
ult right after. Yeah, to an extent it is. I think you don't use it, and then if it turns into a fight, you could just pop it, right? Unless you really think this extra bit of damage from Dragon Form, the Corrosive Breath, was necessary, that is kind of a waste. Because once the fight breaks out, you pop it. It doesn't affect your cooldowns or anything. Maybe he couldn't reach the stun without it. I didn't see the play. I don't know if he...
Do you know what 20 talent DKs are going these days? Does anybody actually go the 20% cooldown reduction?
I think most people take the strength. It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's really a lot.
I mean, they need to... At what point does the cooldown reduction become enough to the point that you're like, okay, I got to start taking this now? 30%? Because we're talking about like the downtime of his ult. Like, how important is that these days for the DK? Because popping it, and like in this situation, obviously didn't matter since they're not really fighting. Although
Prop is very confident.
They might.
Frontlining here. What kind of information? They did have a Hawk, so he saw that he couldn't get immediately jumped by Dragon Knight. You got to be careful frontlining with Queen, man. That's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, they also know that DK form is down.
I don't know how to answer that question. It's just like 25 strength is a lot. So I have seen Dragon Knights take CDR sometimes, but it's just it's such an insanely valuable talent for this hero in particular. It's so much EHP because you have high armor. In the previous patch, when it also gave magic resistance in addition, it was even better. So I guess now there's a bit more of a case to make for CDR, but it's really, really good.
I feel like the CDR becomes even more value, though, when you get Ags. But Ags isn't something you typically will rush anyway, so it feels kind of weird.
This Roche, they're not getting in there.
Yeah, it's pretty low right now. See if Viking wants to initiate in. DK is going to come into DK form. They're going to go for the Crystal Maiden, but he's not going to die. Mars ult goes off. Roshan was already destroyed. Looks like Mio took it for himself as the Rupture is now applied. I can't even see anymore. I think it's the Bristleback. He's very low. The Spirit Vessel, in addition, just not allowing him to do much. Is 2 dead right off the bat. And now the lockdown is there as Boom is contained in that DK form. Triple kill for Spartan of all heroes. Good lord. As Coop will finish it up with a 4th. And the only remaining member is the Coddle.
They jumped the Crystal Maiden and didn't kill her.
And she got a triple kill after that.
And she got a triple kill without using
And she didn't even use her ult. What the hell?
Yeah. that was a really, really good quad play. Got triple Sonic, triple Scream. And I think Viking, if they want to contest this Roche, you got to be a bit faster about it. You got to attack from more angles, right? If you're playing into this kind of lineup that has super strong AoE ground control, you need to flank. Like, come in from multiple different angles, use a smoke. If they didn't have a smoke, it's obviously really tough to make this play in general. But just piling up in one slope like this against a Pango with Dagger and a Queen, that only ends one way. You're gonna get caught by one or the other. And the fight gets really easy from then, until you have your BKBs. Dragon Knight has his now, so that's a start. It might come back to bite Bristle that he bought this Halberd. I don't know if that was a good choice. BKB could have been pretty useful. He's still getting ruptured though, so maybe he doesn't feel like he has enough freedom anyway to move around. But man, Aggressive Mode stepping up in this game. I'm impressed. I'm really surprised. I didn't think they were gonna bounce back from that previous game so well.
Yep, absolutely agree. And they get the Pango again. I mean, the level 25 Pango is really coming through Synderen. Not sure if he used that Yules in addition to his ult in the last fight or not, but I'm sure it was glorious, to say the least. But yeah, how long for Bristleback? So, oh wow, I thought he had more of it done, actually, the BKB. He lost a lot of gold in that fight. Jeez.
He almost has it. Right?
Really?
His recipe and backpack and hammer.
He's going back. Okay, the Mithril hammer is for the Basher as well. Okay.
Oh yeah, it looked like that. Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah, if you look at the quick buy, it looks like he needs both. Yeah, he has it in 400 gold. The problem here is it might be too late, just because, you know, when you're playing Bristle in this kind of game, there's a really, really strong timing with Caudle around, let's say, 10 to 5 minutes ago. You missed that one though. You lost fights, and now you're going to get this BKB, but there's both Roar and Rupture you need to play around. He still needs to get it, because he's just getting controlled by AoE Silence, by Pango stuns, by Maiden. So he has to buy it. But it doesn't give him freedom in the game. If you do manage to catch Bloodseeker, though, without Aegis, if they somehow set that up and kill that guy, though, Bristle can run rampant in these fights. But the Rupture is a really big problem for him.
Is there any...
It's a very movement-based hero.
It's going to sound a bit... it's not an item you want to buy on Bristleback, but considering who you're going up against... You got Bloodseeker with the Rupture. You got Beastmaster with the Roar. Is there any consideration for Linken's at some point this game? Or is it just like, if you're already getting BKB, it feels too defensive almost to have to go for both?
I think you get Satanic, and then you have the status resistance of Halberd and Satanic, and then that's good enough. I think Linken's will be a mistake. Currently queuing up the Abyssal, though, that he was planning on before. Maybe they feel like they need more damage, more lockdown, the guarantee of getting on top of somebody.
Yep, they're sitting at a 10k deficit right now. Skylark did finish the Vlads. The tier 2 tower will fall in the top lane. Mio on the Bloodseeker has Mjolnir and SNY, along with the Aegis, and a Titan Sliver.
They are not scared. They're just going in right now.
Yeah, and Bristleback...
Viking aren't ready. They lost the tower already.
He just picked up... They did, but BKB is now online for Shad. We'll see if they end up going for it here. Going for a fight. Boom will pop his ult. There's the Caudle ult on top of it. Question is, where is Mars in this engagement? 3 getting stunned right off the bat. There's a beautiful Mars ult. CM will finally die, and that's the key to success in her. Killing the Crystal Maiden as Quap will fall next. Mio, with that Aegis intact, will drop, and I believe this is going to be a second death here. So that's going to be 3 kills overall in favor of Viking, and that BKB really saved the day for Bristle. And killing CM. I mean, let's be real. That's
they hit a timing and they made use of it. Those 2 BKBs being used for the first time on both of them. And yeah, I think Aggressive Mode maybe overestimated themselves a little bit with how they positioned. I love that they went for it so quickly and got the tower down. But I think the heroes were standing too close together. Like, a couple of heroes were barely tickling that tower, but were still in the vicinity. And then when the initiation comes from Viking, the repositioning for them gets really awkward because they're so close together. The Quap gets caught. It's a really good arena. I think the arena had 3 or 4 heroes in it.
Yeah.
And if you want to hit that high ground, you can do it with all of Beastmaster's summons, as well as the Bloodseeker, and maybe the Beast himself just being in range with the aura. It's 1200 radius. Maybe you get a little less damage at the tower, but you're way safer doing it.
I believe the Mars just finished a Vlad's to go. Okay, I was gonna say Blink Dagger seems very important, as that is kind of their big team fight ults to go along with Caudle. You just put those 2 on top of each other and you just see what happens there.
Yeah.
So that'll be the next
agree.
item.
I don't know if Laz is the better
Chad.
choice either.
Rupture. I'm gonna try to support him here.
This is a
Rupture is
It's a
still
big
at half
cooldown to
duration.
have. Now they can go.
Yeah,
Mio doesn't have
gets
BKB.
Mars
What is
ulted
happening?
solo at half HP, trying to be safe from the Pangolier, but it's not going to happen. And down goes your Bloodseeker. Telekinesis, Queen of Pain. They're going to see him. Nice attempt there from Spartan to get the Glimmer Cape off, but the Dust was very clutch. And now he will be the third death. And all of a sudden,
What's that?
aggressive mode have just thrown their lead away.
I don't know what the plan was. Like, he was playing like he had either Aegis or BKB or a team behind him, but he had neither. He throws a Rupture with no allies around, and the guy whose Rupture is just like, okay. And then...
All right, well,
and then he gets caught, of course, right? And they just... I don't know. At the very
no
least, they
creeps,
cut the wave.
unfortunately. Yeah, they'll get the range racks at least. That was a hilarious kill, by the way. Skylark taking out the Coddle solo as he was taking out the creeps as well. And he'll find a nice regen rune for his struggles. Ooh, Paladin Sword.
Oh
That's
boy,
a
look
good
at that
Mars.
win probability graph, man. That is 3 devastating minutes. You were in a really good spot, and the whole thing has just swung around. And I think you could argue about this top fight, like, okay, you know, maybe it was... I think it's harder to play that than what just happened. Like, this positioning that they just had in this Bloodseeker fight, I was just dumbfounded. Like, I don't know what's going on in their communication. It looked like they were not on the same page at all with what they were trying to do there.
You know what the crazy thing is,
cost them
Cinder?
big time.
Even after that fight, they didn't use any BKBs for that fight. So they still have 9 seconds on each of them. They won that handily, took down a ranged Rax along with the tower, and still have the 9-second BKBs.
Yeah.
That's pretty nice.
I just went back and watched with the stream delay what happened in that fight. So Bristleback was alone behind where the tier 2 tower used to be. Oh, they found Skylark. This is a big kill.
Yeah,
They should get him
Telekinesis will
here.
hold him in
Arena
place.
Spear.
Mars ult. In circles he goes, but the Dragon Tail on top of the spear. DK pops the ult again. Still don't understand why this is happening. But they'll find the kill regardless.
So this fight top, right? The tower was down. Bloodseeker standing next to it. His team was wrapping around from the south, but there was one Dragon Knight just breaking their movement, and they couldn't connect with him. And then Bloodseeker kind of stuck around instead of running away. It was like, do we go, do we not? Do we go, do we not? And then he's dead. So there was definitely some sort of coordination or a plan there where the Bloodseeker was meant to start the fight and they follow through. The problem is you've already wasted your Rupture, which is a huge spell in this game. I don't think you should try to take the fight after that with that kind of an awkward flank into the enemy's supposedly vision, right? So either way, that play just wasn't... It didn't make too much sense overall, I think.
Yeah. Sunlight is killing the creeps to ensure that they can't go any further than this tier 2. And the tier 2 will not fall in the mid lane. Bottom lane, though, I think they might get this. I don't know if there's any defense going to be mounted.
Absolutely not.
What do you
Man,
think
he's got
of...
a full abyssal now on Bristle. Oh, boy. It's a
Ooh.
big item.
On its way, then.
You could
What
save
are
for
your thoughts
buyback,
on
too.
Paladin Sword, by the way, on Bristleback?
Super good, too.
Okay, let me just say this. If this was like a core, not a core because he is a core, but a Mars like went more right click, then it would be much better on him. But you're giving up the spell lifesteal, which maybe doesn't matter that much, but also had lifesteal on top. How big of a component is the regeneration? 17% amplification. Is that
It's a
like a huge part
a
of
big
it?
deal. It's a pretty big deal when, especially he has the 25 health regen taunt as well, right?
That was a long TP. Yep, that's true.
His current passive HP regen is 63 when he's next to the pipe.
That's a big courier kill. That's no Abyssal for a while. That was the recipe. Definite misuse. He TP'd back to the bot lane to get that kill. And his courier just never stopped going. Just a brainless donkey courier. You've seen that from
As
time
donkeys
to time.
are.
Well, they can't literally be brainless, though, or else they wouldn't be able to function. So,
Thank you for
Just
that
lack of brain cells.
clarification.
no problem. What if I did a cast where I just explain all the spells as they're happening?
Explain all the most basic things.
As you can see, this Bristleback, who has a an instant active ability named Quill Spray. It'll deal a little bit of physical damage, and it actually stacks on top of each other.
I hate it already.
You know,
Not gonna lie.
I do this on fails, and Slacks really dislikes it.
Yeah. No surprise.
Which makes me want to do it more.
It would be good for a beginner cast, though, explaining the spells.
Really? Well,
Yeah.
Didn't realize that.
I think that would be pretty useful, but everybody in
experience
chat
with that,
watching this game is at least 7k MMR, so I don't think they
That's
need any
true.
explanation of
I mean, the
basic
caster is lower MMR than that, so that's great to hear.
I mean, considering some
They
of the
should be doing
comments
my
are, Sin
job.
doesn't know what he's talking about. They're obviously better, right? So, I mean, they've got to be at least 8k all of them.
Sunlight level 20 on the Queen of Pain has the 10-second BKB now to go along with the 4 charges on his Spirit Vestal. So Dragon Form is not down. Roshan is up. So how much of a consideration from aggressive mode side do you look into going for Roshan, knowing that DK form, the Elder Dragon Form, is down? Because they just saw him, for sure.
Yeah, I feel like this play is difficult to pull off. You have a bit of information from this ward. They actually see Mars on a ward right now, but they have to solve top first. They're going to port back the Maiden for that. Aramis is going to steal Nova.
Dragon Form is
Good
back
Aramis.
in 20 seconds, so not the longest
The moment of
downtime.
opportunity is gone. They're just going to run at them. They can outnumber them 5-4 here with a TP from Ruben.
Yeah, they're going to stun the Bloodseeker right off the bat. He's going to pop his newly picked up BKB. Gets off the Rupture, but still not doing a whole lot. But here comes the Pango along with the support from Queen of Pain. Nice Mars ult, but Bloodseeker's able to just walk right through it. Sunlight's able to blink right through it. It gets a nice Sonic Wave, though. It'll cost Pango his life as Toby will attempt to TP out. It's going to be close, but the Yules is there to bring him back down to Earth and into the grave shortly after. He gets a nice spear, though. Aramis will be able to finish off this Bloodseeker. They do. So all in all, it's a 3-for-2 in favor of Viking, as they didn't even lose their DK or their Bristle, who can just go straight into Roche.
Yeah. That was kind of scrappy. I think the BKB reveals from aggressive mode made a big difference there in making that fight a bit better than maybe it should have been. And the fact that they immediately isolated and killed Caudle before the fight even started. There was no Ignis in that fight. No blinding light, obviously, also a big deal. With BKBs, it matters less, but yeah. Considering they popped the 10-second BKB on Quap and a 9-second BKB on Bloodseeker, probably not too happy with that. But you got to remember, when you TP back your Maiden to defend racks like this, you're giving really crucial information. That's why Toby just ran in a straight line. He was like, I want to start this fight. My Rubik's going to connect, their Maiden won't. And that's kind of why that fight went the way it did. It was sheer outnumber. I don't think they played the fight worse than Viking there, aggressive mode. They just didn't have enough in the tank.
Boom just pinged the enemy Ancient. So I think they're ready to go as he TP's back to his base. So maybe not. Sunlight's just going to TP back as well. So Beastmaster now has a Heaven's Halberd as well to go along with the Silver Edge. And finally, the Abyssal Blade was delivered to Shad. It's been a long time coming, my friend. Between his courier dying and now, he's picked up a plate mail on his way to a Lotus, which will be super nice against the Shadow Strike, of course.
As well.
Well, if you can time it, I suppose, Rupture, yeah.
It's how long is the duration of Lotus Orb? I actually don't know that by heart. Let me look.
I'm gonna guess
6
seconds.
So you go in with that on, you have 6 seconds where you can't get ruptured, right? That's a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
You abyssal someone, you Lotus yourself, and you know that you have those 6 seconds to maneuver in. It's pretty much, it covers your BKB duration, right? I think it's pretty decent. It's also preemptively a save against Roar, right? You reflect Roar and Rupture, super good.
Yeah, it's like a poor man's Linken's.
Yeah.
Or it could be a greater man's Lincoln if it actually
Are we just
reflects.
trying to end the game here? They're definitely going to force aggressive mode back this way. They didn't want to get split pushed.
They know that Skylark does not have buybacks in Nern because it's a Crystal Maiden. When does she ever have buyback? All right, they get one tier 4 and it looks like they want to focus on the mid. Oh, damn it! I meant Spartan. Whatever. the Greeks. One of the Greeks. Queen of Pain gets decimated.
He died without buyback, trying to cut the wave. Oh,
yeah,
no,
that's rough.
Oh,
Not even
that's
close to
real
buyback
bad. Now
either.
they can't fight anymore.
Yeah.
They had the hope
Fortification
of
is
delaying
publishing the Abyssal Blade onto the Pangolier, who has a Shiva's. What in God's name is going on here? Bloodseeker pops the BKB, but to little avail as he does not have buyback. And I believe the game has just ended. A nice spear into the Mars arena. And that should do it as GG is called. Well played. So Viking were losing at a certain point in this game, but ended up coming back with a couple of nice fights. I think you would say maybe aggressive mode, despite having the lead. They made some crucial mistakes that